Dear learners, I am Dr. Shweta Tripathi, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering from School of Engineering and Technology, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. I welcome you all in the MOOCs of Energy Resources and Conversion Process. In this module, we will discuss the types of combustion. In our previous module, we have discussed the combustion, and now we are discussing the types of combustion. The learning outcomes of this particular module is to understand the combustion and its types, to discuss the various types of combustion process, to discuss external and internal combustion engine, and to discuss the related advantage of both types of engine. As we discussed, the combustion is a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to produce heat, and this substance which undergoes combustion, we call it as a combustible substance, or we call it as a fuel. The substance which burns in air to produce heat and light is known as combustible substance, and the examples are wood, coal, charcoal as a solid fuel, kerosene, petrol, diesel as a liquid fuels, liquefied petroleum gas is also there, then compressed natural gas, etc. as a gaseous fuel. Sometimes light is also produced during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. We will discuss what flame is, and we have discussed in our previous module that air is very important for combustion, because for the reaction or for the combustible reaction or for the combustion, the oxygen is important. The other things or other parameters that are necessary for the combustion are: for the combustion we need fuel, air, dry air to supply oxygen, to not only initiate the reaction, it is to propagate the reaction. Then we need heat, that is to raise the temperature beyond the ignition temperature. Any substance, that is combustible substance or fuel, will not burn without any one or more of these conditions. We need these conditions to burn a substance or for the combustion of a substance. What is ignition temperature? The ignition temperature is a minimum temperature at which a substance catches fire and burns. The substance will not catch fire and burn if its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. We have discussed this as a fuel characteristic as well. The different substances have different ignition temperatures. We have discussed that the ignition temperature of kerosene or petrol is less than the ignition temperature of wood. Substances which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with a flame are called inflammable substances. For example, petrol, alcohol, LPG, CNG, etc. Then comes the types of combustion. There are three main types of combustion. One is rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. Rapid combustion is combustion in which a substance burns rapidly and produces heat and light with the help of external heat. For example, the burning of LPG. When we burn LPG in our homes, what we do? We ignite. LPG is used as fuel and we ignite it by the matchstick or by a lighter. So the burning of LPG. And what happens? It burns rapidly and it produces heat and light both. It is the heat that is produced is visible as a flame as well. Then comes the spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion is a combustion in which a substance burns spontaneously and produces heat and light without the help of external heat. For example, the phosphorus. When phosphorus burns spontaneously at room temperature. Then comes the explosion. This is a combustion phenomena in which a substance burns suddenly and produces heat, light and sound as well with the help of heat or pressure. And the example for this is explosion of crackers on applying heat or pressure. Then comes the flame. Flame is the zone of combustion of a combustible substance. Generally, the substances which vaporize during burning produces flames. For example, kerosene, wax, etc. The substances which do not vaporize during burning do not produce flames. For example, coal, charcoal, etc. Now comes the engine. We all know an engine converts one form of energy to another form, which is usually known as work. So generally in engine what happens? The chemical energy is generally converted into the mechanical energy. The types of engines which are generally used to move vehicles are combustion engines, and these combustion engines burns fuel to obtain energy. That is, the chemical energy of the fuel is used to obtain the heat energy, and this heat energy is then converted into mechanical energy or work. The combustion engines are the engines which burn fuel to obtain energy and they convert that energy into work. Generally, these combustion engines are of two types: external combustion engine and internal combustion engine. An external combustion engine is a heat engine where a working fluid is heated. This working fluid is contained internally, is heated by the combustion which is performed in an external source. The heat from the external source is sent to the working fluid via engine valve or using a heat exchanger. So here what happens, the combustion of this heat fuel is done outside the combustion, outside the engine, so it is known as external combustion engine. The products of combustion of air and fuel transfer heat to a second fluid, which is the working fluid of this cycle. Whereas an internal combustion engine, it is a heat engine where the combustion of a fuel, generally we use an oxidizer as well, occurs inside the combustion chamber, which is situated inside the engine. So the products of combustion are directly the motive fluid. Let us see the working of external combustion engine. In an external combustion engine, the fuel is burnt outside the engine and the energy which is obtained by the combustion of fuel is then carried to the engine with the help of a heat carrying medium. In case of many engines, the heat carrying medium is water, but in several other cases it can also be air. One of the most common example of external combustion engine is the steam engine. In the steam engine, what happens? The heat is obtained by burning coal outside the engine. The steam then is sent to an engine where its pressure energy gets converted into work. The engine that was used earlier at that time was of reciprocating type. Now these engines are obsolete actually. They have been replaced by internal combustion engines these days. The reason of the replacement was their big size and inefficiency. they also require a lot of maintenance as well. So the reciprocating external combustion engines can now be seen easily in the museums only. Some popular example of external combustion engine which are in use nowadays are steam turbine, gas turbine, etc. In a steam turbine, which is an external combustion engine, what happens? Steam expands and converts its energy into useful work. Since the steam is produced somewhere outside the turbine, which is an engine, it is known as external combustion engine. In most of the power plants in the world, steam turbines are used to generate electricity. The reason of their popularity is that since they are external combustion engines, so they have nothing to do with the type of fuel which is used to convert water into steam. All the steam turbines need is good quality steam. The variety of fuel which can be used to generate steam in a steam turbine is very large. It can be coal, wood, grass, straw, liquid or any gaseous fuel as well. Another important type of external combustion engine which is used nowadays is gas turbine. The working of this gas turbine is similar to steam turbine. The only difference is that the heat carrying medium is used in the gas turbine is air instead of steam. The advantages of external combustion engines. Almost any kind of fuel that is available can be used because the combustion process is taking place outside the engine. Since power is not generated due to detonation of fuel, hence very less noise is generated. Engine emissions are also very low, very economical for huge power generation. It is having high starting torque because if we see the case of internal combustion engines, they are not self-starting, but here the starting torque is high. The output and efficiency are not affected by altitude. Why? Because we are doing this combustion process outside the engine, that is externally, and it is very suitable to use in high altitude areas. There are some limitations of external combustion engines as well. They are not suitable for low load requirements. The leakage of working fluid is there. Lubricant consumption is there. The size of engine is also very big. Overall working temperature is high, so great care and special building materials are required. The applications of these external combustion engines are, if we see that steam engines, they have their applications in locomotives and marine engines. If we see Stirling engines, experimental space vehicles, they are used. If we see steam turbines, they are used for power generation and for the large marine. Then the closed cycle gas turbine is also used. It is also used for the power, is used for the power generation and in marines. Then comes the internal combustion engine. As the name implies, the combustion takes place inside the engine. So internal combustion engine is a heat engine that converts chemical energy in a fuel into mechanical energy, usually made available on a rotating output shaft, and the heat generation process of fuel takes place inside the engine. What happens? The chemical energy of the fuel is first converted to thermal energy by means of combustion or oxidation with air inside the engine. This thermal energy raises the temperature and pressure of the gases within the engine, and the high pressure gas then expands against the mechanical mechanism of the engine. This expansion is converted by the mechanical linkages of the engine to a rotating crankshaft, which is the output of the engine. The crankshaft in turn is connected to a transmission and or powertrain to transmit the rotating mechanical energy to the desired final use, whatever we want. So generally for the IC engine operation, what we need air-fuel mixture, which must be brought into the combustion chamber. In internal combustion engines, wherever the process of this combustion takes place, we call it as a combustion chamber, and it is generally the cylinder of the engine. The mixture must be compressed, mixture must be ignited, and the burning mixture must expand into increasing combustion chamber volume, and the exhaust gases will be removed. It could not be there inside the cylinder. Let us discuss the terms related to this engine operation. TDC, that is top dead center, that is upper side limit of piston to move. BDC, that is bottom dead center, lower side limit of piston to move. Stroke is the movement of piston in cylinder to move up and down between top dead center and bottom dead center. Then bore is the diameter of the cylinder, and revolution is the related to the rotation of crankshaft to complete cycle. Then comes the compression ratio. The compression ratio of an internal combustion engine or external combustion engine is a value that represents the ratio of the volume of its combustion chamber from its largest capacity to its smallest capacity. Displacement, it is the movement of pistons from top dead center to bottom dead center or bottom dead center to top dead center. That is the distance covered by the piston while movement. Then the cycle. It is the process starting from suction, then all the process done till exhaust. Again this process start from suction, it means complete one cycle. We will discuss all the process. Revolution. It is related to the rotation of crankshaft to complete cycle. If we classify this engine, there are lot of classification depending upon the stroke, depending upon the type of fuel used, depending upon the cylinder, etc. But here we are discussing the classification of engine depending upon the type of combustion. And as we know that the ignition is very important for combustion, so we are classifying the internal combustion engine on the basis of ignition. On the basis of ignition, the internal combustion engine is classified as spark ignition and compression ignition. In a spark ignition, or we call it SI engine, what happens? The combustion process starts in each cycle by use of a spark plug. The spark plug gives a high voltage electrical discharge between two electrodes, which ignites the air-fuel mixture in the combustion chamber surrounding the plug. Whereas in compression ignition engine, the combustion process of a CI engine or compression ignition engine starts when the air-fuel mixture self-ignites due to high temperature in the combustion chamber caused by high compression ratio. SI engine cycle. Let us discuss the cycle of spark ignition engine. First is intake stroke. What happens? The piston starts from the top dead center and the intake valve opens, and what happens? When the piston moves down to let the engine take in a cylinder full of air and gasoline. Only the tiniest drop of gasoline needs to be mixed into the air for this to work. Then comes the compression stroke. The piston is at bottom dead center. What happens? It moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center to compress the fuel air mixture that is inside the cylinder, and the compression makes the explosion more powerful. Then comes the expansion of power stroke. As the piston is at top dead center, what happens? The spark plug emits a spark to ignite the gasoline. The gasoline charge in the cylinder explodes, driving the piston towards bottom dead center, and what we say that it is nearly a constant volume combustion process. And what happens? Piston goes to the bottom dead center, and once the piston hits the bottom of its stroke, the exhaust valve opens, and what happens? Whatever the exhaust gases are there, they leave the cylinder and go out through the tailpipe. Then comes the compression ignition engine cycle. This what happens in intake stroke, it is same as the stroke in an SI engine. The only difference is fuel is not added to the incoming air. So here the suction stroke is for the air only. There air only goes inside the cylinder. And what the compression stroke is similar to the SI engine. And what happens? The only air is compressed, and compression is to higher pressure and temperature. And late in the compression stroke, the fuel is injected directly into the combustion chamber. And this air, which is compressed air, which we call the compressed air, is at very high pressure and temperature. So it is, this fuel is mixed with this very hot air, and this causes the fuel to evaporate and self-ignite, causing combustion to start. Then the piston is at top dead center, and now what happens? The expansion of power stroke start. It is same. The combustion is fully developed by top dead center and continues as about constant pressure until fuel injection is complete and the piston has started towards the bottom dead center. And then when the piston once reach the bottom dead center, once touch the bottom dead center, exhaust stroke start, which is similar to the spark ignition engine. All the exhaust gases, exhaust valve opens, and all the exhaust gases goes out through the tailpipe. So this is the basic cycle of spark ignition and compression ignition engine. Generally, we use the gasoline, LPG, CNG fuel in spark ignition engine because their ignition temperature is high and we need a spark plug to ignite these fuels. And the diesel fuel, etc. are used in diesel, this biodiesel. These are the fuels which are used in diesel engines. It is because these fuels have lower ignition temperature and their self-ignition temperature is very high and they is very low and they self-ignite. Alcohol, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, these are also used in petrol engine, and we use some fuels as dual fuel mode also, that we had already discussed in our biofuel module. Then comes the advantages of the internal combustion engines. They have greater mechanical simplicity, they have a lower ratio of weight and bulk to output due to the absence of an auxiliary apparatus like boiler, condenser, etc. as in the external combustion engines. They have the absence of auxiliary apparatus, hence lower first cost also, because the condenser, boiler are not used there, so the cost is, or initial cost is also lower. They have a higher overall efficiency and they require less amount of water for dissipation of energy through the cooling system. Let us summarize whatever we have discussed today. We have discussed the combustion. We discussed that to initiate a combustion, we need fuel, air, and heat to ignite the fuel. We have discussed the types of combustion, that are rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. We have discussed the external combustion and internal combustion engine. We have also discussed the cycles of internal combustion engine, that is spark ignition engine cycle and compression ignition engine cycle. Thank you very much.